Project setup. So inside of Maya, you will have a lot of different functionality. The first and most important thing is setting up your project. That way you can organize your scene, textures, and models inside of a single project that you can share or source control or just keep things tidy and organized. The way that this is going to work is by pretty much creating a template, basic project, and then removing the folders that you don't really care for or are going to be using right away. In this case, assets, autosave, cache, all of these things are not really beneficial for us. It's not going to be really helpful. All of these project folders are going to get recreated once you really use them, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense to have all of these folders and have a structure that is going to be really large. In order to create a project inside of Maya, you just need to go to File, Project Window, click on New, and then over here, that is going to let you select where you want to save this project. So when you hit New, that is going to let you change the name, and that is going to be letting you select where in the world you want to save this thing. By default, you can just keep all the names that you have over here. Once you hit accept, that is going to be creating a new window. Now in the project window itself, once you already have a project, you can reset it by saying set project inside of Maya. So in the same file menu, you can just go to set project, and that's going to let you browse for the project. Once again, cleaning up the project is going to be really important because these are the most important folders and files that you're going to be using. Images is going to contain all of the renders that you may use in your scene, all the renders you generate. Probably is going to be empty for a good part of the semester, but the other two folders are going to be really crucial. Scenes is the place in which you're going to be saving all of your models. A model can be part of a scene, can be imported directly into a scene, and that's why it's called a scene folder and not something like a model folder. The other thing that it's going to be here is the source images. That's the place in which Maya is going to look for the textures that you apply to model in the first place. And then the workspace.ml is a Maya scripting file that is going to let Maya know where to find all of the important files that are going to be in your scene. So taking account that Maya crashes a lot, so if you're ever in doubt on when you're supposed to be saving, just if you remember about saving, just save. You're going to be creating incremental saves in such a way that they are going to be, incrementing. Maya knows that we tend to just name something like project name final and final and final for sure. So Maya is going to let you do incremental saves that are going to change the name of the file automatically. If you just say increment and save with Ctrl-Alt-S, that is going to change the name of the scene to scene.00123 and forward. So it is going to be the best way that you can save your file and maintain a certain order in all the chaos that can be generated with many different scenes. So always remember to increment and save. It's the same as Ctrl-S, but just attach the Alt onto it. Ctrl-Alt-S is going to let you save with an incremental feature. So now let's run Maya super quickly. It is launching and a separate window that I have over here. So once it's done loading, I will just move my window over this area. Alright, so now that Maya is here, the way that you're going to be setting up a project is super simple. Go to File, Project Window. Remember, set project is for whenever you already have the project, so Project Window. That is going to open another window here. I will say, this is going to be an example project, and I will just put that location in my desktop, so I'm going to put it here. And that is going to be the directory. So example project, temp, scenes, assets, all of those things are going to be the default. So just hit generate, and that is going to put in a folder in my computer. So let me go to that folder, and we'll be showing you that folder here. And when I open that example project, those are all of the files that I don't really need. So I'm going to be selecting all of this, and I'm going to control and click on the workspace.ml, the scenes folder, and the source images. Then I'm going to hit delete, and this is all that I need right now. So nothing else and nothing more. So those files there. Let's go back to Maya. let's go inside of the scenes first. So scenes is empty. Just going to go to the Maya folder, and I will be creating a new scene. So for that purpose, I'm gonna go to my poly modeling, and I'm gonna click on the cube. That is the first cube that I created in here. So not much to see in here, but I'm gonna go to File, and I will say Save Scene As for the first time. That's gonna open another scene or folder or window, and I'm gonna save these as a cube. So I'm just gonna call this cube and save as. So I'm using a student version for Maya here, just for my example. Now, if I go onto the scenes folder, you'll see that I have a cube already created. So I'm gonna put this window over here so it's easier for me to do the incremental save. I will move the cube or the camera by scrolling out. So it's zooming out of the model, and then Control-Alt-S, that is going to say, do you want to save this by the student version? Totally. And that is going to be cube 0001, right? So Maya is not gonna let me do incremental saves if I have not done any changes. See, this is really giving me that warning. So, but just by moving the camera, that is going to let me create another file. And then we can work with the latest version for this. That is really how you set up a project whenever you are creating a submission for the class. What I would expect you to do is make a backup of this folder and just zip everything but the previous scenes. So I'm gonna get rid of those cubes. Edits is an empty folder, so I don't really care about it. There's no textures here. These 3D painted textures is empty. And this is the thing that I wanna zip out. So I'm gonna select all of that, and I will say, add to example project zip, and on a submission this is something that is going to be okay. So in some cases we will ask you just for the latest scene, so in this case this one, because we don't really have textures and it's a little bit easier to set up projects. In some other cases we may ask you for the whole thing compressed, so it's just going to be the whole project. So depending on whether we say zip up your project or zip up your scene, that's what you're supposed to be submitting. And actually, I think that most of the time, whenever we say give us just the scene, we will not require you to zip the scene because it's easier for us to just double click on the file that we download. So that is it for this video. I hope it was up to the point. Why do you need to zip up the projects? What is the necessary steps that you need to take in order to create a new project? And I will catch you in the next video.